Hello. Okay. Hi. I am going to be doing my first video ever, and this is just because I'm seeing a lot of comments and a lot of questions being put out there right now from my own kind of network of friends dealing with the whole basically homeschooling that has been brought on by our virus situation. So I wanted to go through just some helpful thoughts and hopefully it will help some of you. Um, I am a homeschool mom. I have been homeschooling my 4 kids for almost 7 years now. Some of them aren't actually schooling yet, they're littles. But my son, who's the oldest, he is 12. So he is in 6th grade this year. I am not an expert. I have just learned a lot over the years that I have been schooling at home, just kind of how to get a good ebb and flow with a family that is bigger than 1 kid. So I've just learned a lot of different things, and some of you might just have 1 or 2 kids, and you'll find that you're going to fall into a really good flow pattern very soon if you haven't already. So I just want to talk about probably it's about 4 points that I'll go over real quick that will help hopefully get things kind of a little bit better structure for you. And number 1 is structure. Structure is including a lot of different things. First of all, your workspace, maybe discipline that you have set up in the home, chores, and a structured bedtime. And now I know a lot of you probably do have a lot of structure, especially with bedtime, because you're used to getting up, going to school, that whole routine. So don't let that go. That's like one of my big recommendations, unless of course you guys love staying up late as a family and you get up late and that's just your good routine and your sweet place, then do that. But for us, bedtime's really important and a little earlier the better. But first of all, your workspace, you guys figure out what is the best place. Where does your child learn the best? It does not have to be your typical table and chair like you would think, or a desk. So just use your kitchen island, your kitchen table, a desk that you already have in your home. Maybe your child works really well at the couch or in their bedroom, at their bed. That is okay. So don't close yourself off to thinking that those things are wrong or you shouldn't use them. Use them. Some kids just can't sit still. So you're going to learn that your more hyperactive children, or the ones that just need a lot of stimulation constantly, they're going to need to be outside a little bit more. So if there's any way with what the kind of schooling you're doing on virtual school, if there's any way to pause it and give them a little more frequent breaks, I want to encourage you to do that. Again, I've been homeschooling all the way through. We never have done a virtual schooling, so I can't speak to that knowing all about that. I don't want to claim that I do. But with my son, I would just go through a little bit of his subject work when he was in kindergarten, and then we would do some of it outside. So if there's any way possible to do that, or some type of physical activity outside, I highly encourage that. It just worked so well, especially like kindergarten through 2nd or 3rd grade. We just needed that constant movement. So don't feel like your kid has to sit there in a chair for 2 hours or whatever the designated time is. Remember, you are somewhat in control of your day, so don't forget that and try to set up what works best for your student. So discipline in our home is really important, but of course we all know this is really tough. There's always a balance that we have to find with our children. And of course, the way we were raised is effective to that as well. But I'm not going to tell you how to discipline your child. I suggest, this has worked for us, is just setting down those boundary lines with our kids and making like a rule list, and just letting them know that if you cross this line, there's a consequence for that. And of course, we have certain consequences and whatnot like that. But the point is to get that structure, kind of like even in school, to have like a expectations list for the kids, and if they don't meet that expectation or that rule, there is a consequence for that as well. So set that up in your own home, put it on a dry erase board, write it on a poster board, or print it out on a piece of paper and post it somewhere so everybody knows the expectations from mom or dad or grandma or grandpa, whoever's schooling the kids, so they know that if they cross that line, there will be an disciplinary action, whatever that might be, taking away something that they really were enjoying to do, whatever, that's up to you. But it does implement a really good structure in the home, and everybody knows what's expected. So on with that is chores. As you can find, moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas, whoever's got the kids during the day, your house is turning into a disaster zone. It is like a tornado went through 3 times, especially if you have kindergartners, preschoolers. I was going to say toddlers. That was my first response. If you have toddlers or babies who are mobile and who can get into stuff, and you've got older kids and you're trying to school them, you're going to find that things are everywhere. So just remember that if you do have older kids, and if you feel that they are capable of starting to do some chores, we personally at home, alongside of that rule list that I was telling you about, we have a chore list. Each child's name is written with their expectation of chores in the morning and the evening, and it helps me because then I don't feel like I'm losing my mind constantly having to clean up after everyone. Now, does every day go perfectly and everyone does their chores? No. There are days when people are not fulfilling the duties that they've been assigned to. So again, that can be addressed as the parent, you just address it how you feel. We have discipline put in place. Privileges are taken away if you are not fulfilling what's expected of you. So again, with your structure, find a good workspace. How does your kid learn best? Set up your expectations list, set up your chore list, and then implement a good bedtime. I need bedtime set it at 8:30. Even with my older child, he doesn't go to sleep at that time, but he's expected to go in his room and have quiet time, whether that's reading a book. He loves to read, so it's a wonderful time to keep kind of in a way school going for him. So he'll be reading from all kinds of different chapter books, or he'll go in there and do something really quietly. So then when I'm home by myself, when my husband, he's a firefighter by the way, so when he's on duty, I have a little time by myself to accomplish things I need to accomplish that evening that I did not get to during the day, or I have time just to relax, whether that's read a book, watch a show that I've been watching, or whatever, get on the computer and do some things. I have that time for myself to do that. So that's just, bedtime's important for that regard, but also for the children, so they don't start to get in this wonky schedule where one night you're going to bed at 9, one night you're going to bed at 10, one night it was 11 or 12, and the morning routine, I'm just being honest because that happens sometimes in vacation mode, it gets really out of whack. So again, just because you guys are home doesn't mean that things should get totally out of whack. I'm encouraging you, not telling you what to do, but encouraging you to just continue that routine and schedule you had while you were actually getting the kids up in the morning, going to school. And that, to me, kind of encompasses a good structure for the family when you're homeschooling. So there's probably a lot of other things other people do to implement structure in the home. So if you have any good comments, please comment below. Keep encouraging these parents. Give me some more good feedback, things that I'm missing in this. So number 2, child's work personality. That just depends on the age and grade of the child. Work personality, what I'm saying is, again, do they sit still for a long period of time? Can they just take the time to go through all of that work all in one shot, or do you need to take some frequent breaks? Sometimes there's snack breaks that constantly have to happen, especially with kindergartners, first graders and second graders, because they're growing. So they're always like, I need a snack, I need another snack, I need 5 million snacks. So just bear in mind that, you are at home, it's more relaxed. Don't make it too rigid. Try to work with their personality of the child. Some kids are just going to need to get up and move a lot more. Maybe you can even figure out a way so they can move but sit. I don't know. Someone suggested one time they put a skateboard under their son's feet so they could move it back and forth while they were sitting and doing their work, and that actually really helped him. I tried it once with my son. It didn't really work. So again, everybody is different. Also find out what makes your child tick. What is motivating to them? Sometimes you need to put motivators out there, not just have a rule list that says if you do this, then you get this, this is taken away, but motivate them to do the right thing, motivate them to accomplish those school goals that the teacher is setting for them right now. Around here, candy is a big thing. People love candy in my home. I've got 12, 8-year-old, 5-year-old, and the 2-year-old doesn't really get candy, but all those older ages, it helps. We don't do tons of it, but in little ways, I will reward them with a little piece of candy. Sometimes it's a little extra screen time that they are normally allotted for each day. It's up to you, but motivate them, give them something to work toward. Number 3, for you as a parent, okay, relax, recharge, refresh, 3 R's. But you need to find a way so you can be relaxed as much as possible. Even though this is, again, so new and it's tough, it's hard, it's not easy to do. And there are going to be moments where you're not going to be relaxed and things are going to be feeling like they're falling apart around you. And that's when you need to get away for a few moments and just breathe. And you don't have to engage in every single argument. You don't have to necessarily get through that particular lesson at that moment. If you can just take a moment to go breathe because you and your child are at it, then you're at each other's wits and you're just getting upset with each other, or you're not understanding what they're learning, or they're not understanding what they're supposed to learn. Just take some moments to step away from it for a little bit and then go back, and relook at it and reevaluate so you guys don't get into a heated argument. Also, the structure. This relaxing and being able to recharge and refresh really has to do with your structure base. So if you have a good structure in place and you implement that with your workspace, your discipline, or your, I like to call it the other thing that I did, which was, oh gosh, now I can't remember what I called it, but the discipline list, the chore list, and a bedtime routine, like you just have the structure in place, it's going to really help with your being able to relax. Also, another way that helps me relax is just planning ahead. Obviously, y'all are doing virtual school, most of you are, or you have a particular packet. I don't know if they give you ahead of time what's expected each week, but if you are given that ability to see that, then you can, structure around that how you want each day to look. I know none of us are going anywhere. We're, at least we shouldn't be. We're probably stuck at home, but you could put in there, oh, this is when I would like this to be done, or we're going to do this family game time on this day, or this day we're going to do this. And it kind of helps you look ahead of the week and be encouraged maybe as to what, you can make fun, even though we all are stuck at home. It's just something for the kids to look forward to. They can see, oh gosh, when I get through this, mom's got this, art project plan as a family. I really want to get this done so we can get to that. So just things like that will motivate you and motivate the kids. But also being relaxed is, for me, it is having a little structure for myself in the evenings, getting the dishes done, making sure that the next day everything's just set up for the morning. And that does not happen every night perfectly at all, but when I do that, when I have made sure the dish crew, which is my children, has done the dishes like they're supposed to, and I've wiped the counters down and just gotten the living room kind of back to normal, I can relax a lot better that night and do whatever else I need to do, or just sit and veg out for a little bit. And the next morning, I don't go into the morning feeling like a chaotic mess. Because those mornings when things are everywhere, I don't function as well. So I don't know if you're like me, maybe some of you aren't and you can live with lots of stuff everywhere, but I can't. So it's a little obsessive compulsive, but it really does help to set up the rest of the day for myself as the teacher, as the mother in the home. So exercise is super important. We have been doing exercise outside in the evenings when it's cooler. We live in Florida, so it's starting to warm up again. So we'll go do it in our backyard. We'll do different calisthenics, and my husband is just really handy. So we put a pull-up bar in the back and all these different cool things. So we've been doing that, but I know everybody has exercise videos, whatever. Maybe you can go on a bike ride and keep your social distancing going around your neighborhood. Implement the whole family in that, because the kids need that just as much as you, and it will help you all to feel better, and especially help those little ones settle down in the evening and go to sleep better. So it's a win-win exercise. Very good. And then number 4 is just give grace. Give grace to your kids and give grace to yourself. This is something that you're not used to. And honestly, doing this for 7 years, it is still each day something that I am learning to work through and to do well. Okay, to do well. I am not the master of homeschooling. I am still, again, just a student in the process of learning how to do this better and better. And so you guys are all being thrown into this right now, and I really, applaud you guys, especially because you do have a little bit less freedom in some respects, and so you guys are doing awesome. Just keep plugging away at it. Give your kids grace. Don't feel like if they're not getting this, they're not getting that math, or they're not learning how to read. Like, don't feel defeated in yourself, and don't feel defeated about them. Give them time. If you have to repeat something, repeat it and do it again and again, because that's the beauty right now. You guys are home, and hopefully, I don't know how much leeway you do have, but hopefully you can slow down a little bit for those who need to slow down, and for those who need a little bit more, you can, can you not, don't touch that. So we're gonna move this farther away from the 2-year-old. Hey, say hi, Jalen. There you go. You don't have to press the buttons. Oh, and everyone can see the reality of life over here. We have a table, but it's not used to eat on. It's used to fold laundry on. We usually eat at our island, and there's Joy. So things are not always going to be perfectly in order. And if any of you know, if you are a neat, clean, tidy person and you don't like any toys anywhere, your kids are normally at school, so that's just the way you get to keep your house. Let go, relax, release. Your house is going to be an utter chaos mess most of the time during the day. That's why if you implement a good chore schedule, your kids can help you out by picking those things up. And in the evening, at least you can have a couple hours of peace and cleanliness that you enjoy. I think that's it. That's all I can think of to go over. Thanks for those couple people who actually maybe watched this video and listened. I hope that it was encouraging to you. And there's your Cheerio, right? You girls want to say bye-bye?
Bye-bye.